Siomra beag.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sure Look, Sure Listen, the podcast that takes a pop at culture. Sure Look, Sure Listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look. Sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen. And so many dramatic pauses, Ben. I love it even more each week. Sure look, Benjamin. This week we will be taking a look at a number of trailers, including a new trailer from the film My Lovely Lady Friends insists on calling Dr. Morbius. We'll also be having a look at the trailer for The Book of Boba, or Boba, or we call him Boba, Ben. I don't go for this Boba shit. Also, we're travelling back in time to last week when we're going to take a look at the new trailer for the film and show Lightyear. And we're travelling back in time a further 2 weeks to when you finally caught up and watched the film Dune, or as you say, Ben, June.
Sure listen, Mick, if that wasn't enough...
Which it isn't.
It isn't. We're also going to be taking a look at the Eternals and their long and convoluted history in the Marvel Universe. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, there's some bloody spoilers in this episode.
Oh my God. We're going to be reviewing the film, not June, or as you say, June. We're going to be reviewing the film The Eternals, Ben, or as you say, The Eternals. And, oh by gosh and by golly, Ben, we're going to be going into spoilers galore. There's going to be spoilers up the wazoo, Ben.
Do you know what I wouldn't care if it was spoiled, Michael?
Go on.
Bloody Dr. Mobius.
Or as my lovely lady friend says, Dr. Morbius. Benjamin!
Yes.
Could it be any more Batman?
It's like, still going.
He's saying like, I'm the real Batman. You're not Batman. I'm the real Batman.
Yeah. Michael, I can't believe this film is still being made.
Dr. Morbius, Ben. It's called Dr. Morbius, and it's coming out in cinemas in January. That's only 2 months away.
It's not so long, Michael. Not so long.
No.
The year is nearly over.
We can't hide from it any longer, Benjamin. Benjamin.
Yeah.
The main question about the film Dr. Morbius is, has Jared Leto done that to himself again? Has he got skinny and then buff, or is one of them CG?
One of them CG. I think they're pulling a Chris Evans, Steve Rogers gig.
Oh, they got the same fella.
They probably did. Probably quite useful.
The same little skinny fella.
That's his career, Michael. He just goes around playing skinny fellas before
little skinny
superhero
fellas, yeah.
transformations. He's
That'd
the
be
before.
handy, wouldn't
it? He moonlights, Michael, in the fitness industry for those ads that make you feel guilty about yourself.
Yes, very good. I'm heading towards that, Ben, but I'm going to be the after of the superhero career, when they've retired and let themselves go a little bit. I already tested for Red Guardian, but David Harbour was too tall. They were like, oh, you're only a little fella.
They were just giving him the extra height. You just got
Yeah.
To be fair, you'd be a great Red Guardian, Michael, in your defence.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Thanks. Except I don't believe in communism, really.
Well, I mean, I don't think David Harbour did really either. I think he believed in Red Guardian.
Oh, the actor David Harbour. Benjamin, let's talk about Dr. Morbius. It looks... my good lady friend Ben watched the trailer for the film Dr. Morbius, and she said, that looks great. When are we going to see that? And I tell you, I've never been more disappointed in her.
That's awful, Michael. See, I think this has real mainstream appeal, but only because it has Jared Leto in it.
It has Jared Leto, it has good special effects, it has all of the tropes you want from your superhero trailer. It has mercenaries walking through a dark corridor and getting lifted into the air one by one.
Yeah, it's classic. It is Batman. That entire opening sequence on the ship is Batman. It's interesting. That's a real parallel to Dracula, Michael, the novel, because Dracula arrives to London on a ship, and the ship is full of dead people. And I think it's a nice little parallel there between Dracula and Morbius. Morbius arrives to New York.
Benjamin, you will remember we did a long time ago an episode of our previous podcast, Michael and Benjamin's podcast, before the great rebranding, where we cover the origins of Michael Morbius, and that is traditionally his origin.
Yeah.
So they do seem to be skewing pretty close to the comics on this one.
Which is good news, I guess. If you're a
Morbius
fan. Are there Morbius fans?
I think there are some. Yeah, there have to be some. Of course, Ben, in the comic book, it's told from Spider-Man's perspective, so the ship turns up unexpectedly and it's a great mystery, where in this it looks like we're going to be there from the beginning, although maybe there'll be some timey-wimey in media res flashback moments going on.
I think we're going to get a lot of flashbacks to a grim little Victorian boy who's like, I've got an illness, but I won't let that stop me from curing the illness.
Yes, it's me, Stewie from Family Guy, and I'm out of time.
Yeah, and I think that pretty much works. But look, it looks a bit like Dracula Untold to me, Michael.
Yes, Dracula shouldn't have been told, as we called it.
The wit. But yeah, it looks... it looks like something... It doesn't look like anything new, Michael. It doesn't look like anything
new in it. The one thing I liked, Ben, was that he can see the air currents, and that helps him flap around the place like a bat.
Yeah, he's got an sonar, Michael.
He's got some sort of bat radar, I believe are the exact words. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when he's in the subway and he can feel and see the wind, and then he goes, I can probably flap about the place like a big bat, and then he starts flapping about the place. It's great.
It's very early kind of special effects for flying, where he's just kind of frozen in place, and he's like, "Woo! Look at me,
he's flapping. He's getting the air resistance. He's got his big flappy arms out. It's great." Benjamin.
Yeah.
What ultimately concerns me about this is it's Sony.
Yeah, and I think Sony really gave itself a pat on the back for that little Venom joke. I think the executives of Sony were like, "Oh yes, look at us building links in our universe."
Yes, it's a stupid reference. Also, at the start it says, "From the studio that brought you Spider-Man Far From Home." And all I could think was, is it though?
Is it?
Did they?
It's not. It's not.
And Venom. I was like, yeah, you did that one, that's for sure. Benjamin, which universe is this in? He's referencing Venom. He's meeting Michael Keaton's The Vulture. There's a painting on the wall of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Is something going to happen in Far No Way Home that we don't know that's going to make this make sense, or is this just bullshit?
Well, I think it's like that. It's like that, and spoilers for the Venom 2 film. It's like that reveal that dimension hopping seems to be a thing, or Sony wants it to be a thing. I don't know if Sony's trying to like put the strong arm on Marvel and just be like, "Well, we've done it now. We've done it.
So what are you going to do? We can't undo it."
And I think Marvel might just turn around and go, you know my two favorite words, says Kevin Feige, not canon.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh.
Have you ever heard of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? No, neither have I.
Neither have I. Now remove yourself from my room.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be messy, Michael. I don't think... See, no great Spider-Man film universe fan am I. It's not like...
They've never worked, have they, Ben?
They've never been great, Michael. The cinematic Spider-Man universe, and arguably a lot of the comics, have been hit and miss, Michael. At the best of times. And a lot of the characters, a lot of the villains of the Spider-Man universe, some great villains, Michael. A doctor cephalopod, a tangerine pixie. That's a Green Goblin inversion, sorry. But we've had lots of interesting characters over the years. But my God, there's some dud villains in there too.
Go on.
Michael Morbius,
Dr. Morbius,
the Hobgoblin.
I like the Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin's my favorite. I genuinely like the Hobgoblin. Genuinely, Hobgoblin is my favorite because for whatever reason in the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s, they introduced Hobgoblin before Green Goblin.
They did.
That for me, Hobgoblin is the defining Spider-Man baddie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Many would disagree, but
he's got a purple robe on and he's got a big orange face.
I just don't understand what they're trying to do. I mean, the universe of the Venom films is so different to the universe of the Spider-Man films, and the universe of the Spider-Man films seems so different to the Michael Morbius film.
Yeah, very confusing. Ben, I was in a toy shop the other day and I was having a look at Legos.
Oh yeah,
and as our American friends say, Legos. And often the Legos, they just make shit up, Ben. So, for example, there was a famous Iron Man 3 Lego where Spider-Man fought the Mandarin in some sort of tiny little buggy. And that obviously didn't... Yeah, it was very famous and very stupid. But one of the Lego sets, Ben, is Spider-Man versus the Vulture again.
Boo.
Is he going to be in it? Would that make it a Sinister Six? I think that would make it 6.
I think... so who have we got? We've got a bloody
Green
Michael
Goblin.
Morbius. We got a Green Goblin.
No, Michael Morbius won't be in No Way Home. But in No Way Home, we've got a Green Goblin.
Yes,
we've got a Dr. Octopus,
Professor Cephalopod. Yep,
we've got a Electricity Man.
Yes,
We've got a Sandman.
Oh, yes, we do.
We've got a Lizard.
Yep.
And then if you've got either Mysterio or Vulture, that's 6, Ben. That's a Sinister Six. That's 6 sinister boys, as you would call them.
6 sinister boys. A pack of nefarious lads.
Anyway, Ben, we've gone wildly off topic. Let's talk about the Book of Boba.
The Book of Boba. So, Michael, boba tea is a really, really popular drink at the moment, worldwide, I think, because of the little tapioca balls in the base. So
chewy.
Disney have gotten in on this, basically, Michael, and they've written a book, as far as I understand, Michael, or they've unearthed an ancient manuscript of boba recipes, and they've turned it into a little series on Disney Plus.
Very clever. It's not, though. It's Boba Fett, Ben.
Yes, very good. So it's actually a type of cheese, Michael, from the Boba region of Greece. It's Boba Feta.
Very good.
And that recipe's been lost for many, many years, and Disney Plus unearthed it actually in their new archaeological wing, and they've made a little TV series out of that.
Is that, Ben? Is that of protected origin?
100%.
Yeah, very good. Boba Fett. I see what you've done, Benjamin. It's not. It's about Star Wars. There's all sorts of Star Wars going on.
Michael, come here to me.
Right, go on. I'm listening.
No great Star Wars fans are we.
No great Star Wars fans are we, Ben. Although we did enjoy The Mandalorian once they got rid of Gina Carano.
Yes, boo.
I disagree, but go on anyway.
No, she was grand. She was actually a very enjoyable character, and I was sad to see her go. That'll get us cancelled, Michael. That's it. We're done now. We've shown support for the wrong person. Yeah, it's all over. But anyway,
I love Zack Snyder.
If only we got cancelled for that. But anyway, the Book of Boba, Michael, got its trailer, or the Book of Boba, whichever you prefer. And
I say Boba Fett. I'm not having any of this Boba Fett nonsense.
It's in the Mandalorian timeline, Michael, and it picks up with I'm gonna get it wrong. Temuera Morrison? No, it's not.
I think you mean Tia or Tamara Morrison.
Yes, Tia Maria Morrison.
Yes.
I can't. What's his name?
Temuera
Morrison. Thank you. And he, it's picking up where his Boba Fett character kind of left off, and we're going to get to see him kicking some butt as Boba Fett.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be about Star Wars crimes.
Yeah, and him and Fennec.
Fennec Shand.
Fennec, is it Shand? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Fennec Shand. Benjamin.
Yeah.
It is worth pointing out, I feel, as we always do, Ming-Na Wen is 57.
Sweet, merciful Christ.
She's 57. What are they doing? How are they? 57 is the new 35.
How is she preserving herself? What is her secret?
But also, having said that, Ben, Temuera Morrison is 60.
Yeah, he's looking great.
60's the new 42.
Michael, Temuera Morrison looks better than I do.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm only 30.
You're only 30. He's 60. He's exactly 2 Ben Collopys. If you were to use the Ben Collopy measurement system, he would be 2 Bens.
As is popular in New Zealand.
Yes, I believe it's the main system in New Zealand. Nightmare to convert to metric.
Pain in the arse, Michael. But yeah, so we're getting that. It looks good, Michael. I thought the trailer gave us lots of tasty things. Seems to be a bit of a The Wire situation, Michael, going on.
Yeah, but with Star Wars.
And spoilers for a series that came out in the early 2000s. But there's Temuera Morrison is trying to do the Stringer Bell. The Stringer Bell.
You're never going to get it, are you? You're never going to get it.
No. He's trying to do the Stringer Bell, Avon Barksdale, form a council of bloody interested drug dealers and have them operate as a bureaucracy. But he's going to do it on Tatooine instead.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see if that works out.
Yeah, probably won't.
Yeah, it's spectacular though, Ben, that we have a TV series where we're getting 2 leads in their late 50s or early 60s, and they're being presented as attractive people. Fair play.
Such representation.
Such hope for the future, Ben.
Yes, it's very good. Also, Michael, if we want to just pile this on here, if we want to just add to the accolades this show is going to get 2 person of color led older people portrayed as main characters. So there you go.
And one of them, and I'm not shitting you here, an honest to God woman.
Get out of
as a lead, like obviously the secondary lead, but nearly the lead of a TV series.
It's not a man in drag, no.
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 Look, anyway, Ben, we'll give it a watch. I think I'm looking forward to it. Speaking though of mad shit,
Yes.
why have they made Lightyear? What's going on with that? What's this about? You explain this to me, please.
Arguably, Michael, right?
Benjamin.
But, yes.
I'm sorry to cut across you, but I'm just looking at you. You've had a fresh new haircut.
I have indeed.
And I tell you what, Ben, the next Comic-Con we're going to, you're going to be Lightyear. I've just had a look at you now with your big jaw and your standard American man haircut. Oh yeah, this is on point.
I guess I'm going as Lightyear for the next bloody...
That's next year's Comic-Con sorted.
All right, that was easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good.
Very good, Michael. But come here to me, right? This film is... what is this? But Michael, in the early 90s, we were given the magic that was Toy Story.
That's quite good.
Right? A bloody classic. One of everybody's favourite characters, Michael, was the strange little man from space, Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, who has slowly been phased out of the Toy Story universe due to the fact that Tim Allen is a bit of a bigot.
Is he?
He's a big old conservative...
that's not the same thing, Ben.
It pretty much is, Michael, in America.
Oh, right, okay. Well, that seems like a broad generalization, but okay.
It's all right, Michael, I don't mind. So, in general, Tim Allen, unfortunately, kind of expressed many more conservative views, and Pixar went, yeah, okay, look, I mean, it has to be him, but can we not just make the next one about Tom Hanks? Everybody likes Tom Hanks. Let's just put Tom Hanks in there. So the last Toy Story film, Toy Story 4, was very much Woody-centered as opposed to Buzz Lightyear.
I haven't seen it.
Very good, Michael. Probably one of the best Toy Stories.
I don't know. All the other three are pretty good.
But very much made, Michael, for the older generation who's grown up with Toy Story. Not a film for children, funnily enough, I don't think.
Oh, I see. Maybe I'll give it a watch.
You probably should, Michael, because you're going to have to get ready for Lightyear, which is the new Pixar film, detailing... nobody's sure what it is, and Disney have released a statement which has made it very confusing. So what it is it is detailing the life of the man who inspired the Buzz Lightyear figure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't, Michael, because...
Makes sense.
That's a weird space society set in the future. So does the Toy Story world that we were introduced to in the 90s actually an interstellar colonization kind of gig where people are living on different planets and testing out light rigs?
No, Ben. This is the movie that the Buzz Lightyear action figure was based on.
Yes, but I understand that, Michael, but the Buzz Lightyear action figure was introduced to us in the 90s in a quaint little American town with Andy. Does that mean that Andy lived in an interstellar colony?
No, Ben. No, Andy watched this movie.
No. It's based on the life of the man. Get out of town.
Yeah, no, this is a movie within the Toy Story universe. This is the movie.
Okay.
This is the movie that the Buzz Lightyear cartoon was. Ben, have you seen Ghostbusters?
Yes, do.
Exactly, yeah. Not for kids, I think you'll agree.
Probably not, no.
No, everyone's smoking fags and talking about Rohypnol and whatever.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
It's not for kids.
No.
So when they made it for kids, Ben, they made an animated series for kids.
To sell the toys, you see.
Called The Real Ghostbusters. And then that sold the toys.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on here. This is the original movie that the Buzz Lightyear cartoon was based on. And that cartoon is what promoted the action figures that Andy bought.
Oh, Michael, that's very good, isn't it? That's very clever.
It's quite clever. I quite like it. Now, I don't know if this is going to be... I don't think it's going to be presented to us as this is the original movie from the 80s that inspired the Buzz Lightyear toys. Maybe this is a modern, gritty reimagining of that story.
This is the grim and gritty reboot starring Chris Evans.
It's got Chris Evans in it. Unproblematic man, Chris Evans. I can't wait till he's done something bad.
Michael, I reckon he has a big old sex dungeon.
Oh, he's definitely up to something.
He's up to something. But you know what? It could be good, wholesome, consensual fun, Michael. So there's no issue there.
Yeah, you can still get in trouble for that.
Can you? Okay.
Yeah, like poor old Armie Hammer.
Yeah, I think he was just branded a freak, wasn't he, by society?
Yeah.
That was really...
Yeah. He didn't actually eat anyone. He just sent a weird sex fantasy.
Yeah, but there was non-consensual stuff there as well, Michael. So we can't exactly side with Armie Hammer here now, can we?
Well, there was non-consensual. Did he do anything non-consensual, or was that part of the?
I think that's largely why people came forward and were like, "Hello, he's a bit of a non-consensualist."
Is he?
I think so, Michael. I
I
read
don't
that
know,
Vanity
I don't
Fair
know.
article quite a few times.
I don't think that anyone's going to be unproblematic. I think Chris Evans will get cancelled eventually, and then we'll be going back and then we'll be going, oh, we should have got Tim Allen. Remember that thing that turned up about Chris Evans? Oh, fucking hell!
They'll deep fake him into the Marvel.
Yeah,
Cinematic
we should have stuck with Tim Allen. He was a bit of a prick, but at least he wasn't doing this thing. And then we'll blur out the thing Chris Evans is alleged to have done.
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting that universe, Michael. It's a grim and gritty reboot by the looks of things, very serious. There's a wonderful amount of memes that have come out based on Buzz Lightyear's face. One of the ones that's come to absolute prominence, and it's very niche to the Irish, Michael, is that he looks like a lad from D4 who's gone out for a night on the tiles after the Leinster rugby match.
Very good. That's unintentionally me making quite good solid fun of you then.
Yes, it was. It was pretty well played all round there. I assumed you
Very
had
good.
seen that meme and were
I
actually
hadn't.
cashing in those chips.
No.
But you weren't.
No, I wasn't. I was just taking a pot shot, a random pot shot.
A classic
happened
pot
to be
shot.
Right on the nose.
Right on the nose. So, yeah, that's a film that's happening, Michael, and we'll probably go see it. Probably.
Ben, do you think
Yeah.
we'll go see it when it comes out, or will we go see it 3 to 4 weeks later, like the film Dune?
Michael,
Or as
I've
you
always...
say, Ben, June.
Michael, you cook. I've always found
That's a very problematic word, Ben. You're going to get cancelled if you keep calling me a cook on the internet.
I'll just go hang out with Chris Evans. Michael, one of the important things that I've always felt, Michael, is not to get aboard the hype train. Woo. And I've made my podcasting career, Michael, out of being slightly late to the party.
Yes.
And in true fashion, Michael, I went to see this very Wednesday.
This Wednesday in Wednesday Night Cinema Club. All right.
Wednesday Night Cinema Club with our good friend of the podcast, Connor, Michael.
Yeah.
And not
How's
so good
Connor
friend
June?
of the podcast, Killian. But
Who's
he's a good
Killian?
friend of Connor. So he's a good friend of the podcast adjacent Killian. Yeah. And we went to
You
see...
better be listening to this.
we went to see Dune, which you've already
you say,
reviewed on
Dune.
this podcast, Michael. And my God, what a fascinating cinematic experience.
Yes, very long.
Very long. I wish I hadn't read the book.
No, ridiculous.
I feel that the enjoyment of Dune is somewhat taken away if you know exactly what's going to happen.
Well, there's a certain irony to that, all right, Ben.
Yeah, it's just an interesting thing in the film. Like it's such a faithful adaptation as well. Actually, there's one part that I'm going to ask you about in a second. When we do full spoilers, but a lot of people, Michael, were sitting there
Ben.
going, "Yes,
Ben, we did full spoilers 4 weeks ago.
I know, but we have to keep warning people, Michael, in case
right, in case they haven't seen it.
In case they haven't seen it, Michael.
In case they want to dash to the cinema for the last week before it comes out of the screens.
Yeah, I tell you what, Michael, you weren't wrong. Bloody perfume ad for Zendaya, that was an easy paycheck. Jesus.
Yeah, non-stop, yeah.
Yeah.
Non-stop easy paycheck for Zendaya.
Not a bother to her. I tell you what I don't believe, Michael, and I blame you and your cohort of burly men that you spend time with. I do not believe that Timothée Chalamet could physically encounter anybody in the Dune universe and come out on top.
No, they kick the shit out of him. He's only a little skinny fella.
He's the skinniest little fella I've ever seen. That man is a grown man. And he's the body of a little boy.
He's on in his trunk. That's why he's going to get cancelled. Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He's not going to be much of a challenge to anyone. But when I was watching it and I knew what was going to happen, I just imagined this must be what it's like to be the Kwisatz Haderach.
The Kwisatz Haderach. Why do you think that, Michael?
Because I could see the future and go like, oh, I know what's going to happen. What's the point?
It makes it a tougher watch. I think, because I think you're supposed to be taken aback by the Harkonnen rebuttal to the House Atreides kind of gig, and I think you're supposed to be like, oh my God, it's all gone wrong. But if you've read the book, you're just like, yeah, This is the midway point.
But also, yeah, I see what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. But also, that is also foreshadowed in the film, where everyone's like, "Well, this was very easy, wasn't it?"
Yeah, no, that's true. They do set that up quite well.
And then what's the arbiter of the change is like, just look after your kids. That's all I'll say. All I'm saying is
look after your family.
Make sure your family are safe, because I'm not doing nothing. I'm not saying nothing, but you know yourself.
I think one of the most interesting choices by Denis Villeneuve as a departure from the book, Michael, is that they explain what the spice is so important for very, very early on in the film. It's in the introductory bloody thing where they're like, the spice is how interstellar travel is possible. In the book, you don't find that out till like way up until the end. That's a huge revelation for Paul, where he's like, oh.
Is it?
Yeah, because they don't realize how interstellar travel is mandated by spice. It's a huge revelation at the end of the book, because nobody can understand why the little planet is so very important.
Because the spice must flow, Ben.
The spice must flow, Michael, but that's not revealed until very, very late in the novel.
That the spice must flow, is it not? Are you sure?
No, the spice must flow is there because it's important for psychology, but it's the travel.
What did you say there? It's important for
the mindy-windy stuff and some of the running of the Empire and the mentats.
Yeah, the mentats.
It's important for that. Yeah. But it's realized that the only way they can navigate interstellar or intergalaxy space is using the spice.
No, interstellar was right. It's one galaxy.
It's one galaxy. Okay, interstellar travel. Thanks for steering that up there. But anyway, right. Michael. Yeah. Anyway. Such visuals, Michael. The scale.
Oh, so many visuals. Scale. So much scale.
It's very much. I enjoyed picking through the internet afterwards, Michael, and so many people saying it was boring. This is very much a classic early days of Hollywood film in the style of a Lawrence of Arabia. In the style of a bloody Ben-Hur. It's a big epic scale thing with lots of political pontificating, Michael.
Oh yeah, there's lots of political pontificating, Benjamin. It continues the streak of Denis Villeneuve movies that I've seen people walk out of.
Did you have people walk out?
I had people walk out. A bunch of roustabout lads came in, and I don't know what they were expecting, but it wasn't that, and they left after about 30 minutes. And then there were a lot of people complaining at the end, going, "You can't tell me that had a plot. That didn't have a plot."
Oh, it did have a plot. It was just a half a plot.
It had half a plot. So I mean, they have a good point there, a solid point on that one.
That's fair.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
You know what film had a full plot though?
Okay. Which is okay. Yeah, go on.
Oh no, do you have more to say about Dune?
I just want to ask. I want to ask you very quickly. I want to ask you very quickly, Michael. Does Liet Kynes die at that point in the book?
I don't think it's quite like that.
Yeah. Because I was sitting there. That was one of the big departures. And I don't think Duncan Idaho died there, did he?
I think he did, yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah. Duncan Idaho. I haven't read the book in about 5 years, so I don't remember specifically where and when. But Duncan Idaho does die at about the midway point of the first book. Okay. And Liet Kynes has a whole other subplot about a garden and trying to terraform Dune.
Yeah.
Which was obviously cut out of this unless it comes back in the second part. So probably made more sense to do away with her
because they'd removed her entire reason for being.
Yeah, so they made her like part of the escape plan and part of the. She was one of the most expositionary characters, really.
Yeah. I tell you what I liked, Michael. About the internet reaction. Nobody gave out that she was a woman of color and black.
No, because
nobody cared.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's fine. It's I mean, if you go back to some of the worst overreactions to recasting, Heimdall was one of the earliest.
Okay,
and what that was really a reaction about, if you go back and look at it, was, hold on a minute, they're not going to be Norse.
Even though they absolutely are, and you're being silly.
even though the characters are, but these versions aren't going to be Norse.
Yeah.
But once people got over that, it was fine. Nobody cared when Valkyrie. Well, a lot fewer people cared that Valkyrie was black. Some certainly did, but a lot fewer. And And then there were the other ones like Sue Storm and Johnny Storm being of different races. Because, like a very famous family, brother and sister, being changed to an adopted brother and sister for the sake of what? So, if it's for the sake of something, it seems to piss people off. But if it's, a minor character... Ben, have you seen The Eternals?
No, I haven't seen The Eternals.
Almost all of the Eternals are race or sex shifted in some way.
Are they?
And no one gives a monkey's uncle.
Nobody cares, Michael.
Have I lost you?
No,
or
nobody.
Are you just so shocked? You've gone quiet, Ben. I'm not getting any audio from you. I think you've
got
muted.
Why did I get muted?
You've muted yourself.
Well,
and
sorry
no
about
one,
that.
and no one gives a monkey's uncle.
Yeah. Well, a very large portion of the internet does give quite a monkey's uncle, Michael. But we're not talking.
Do they
to them.
though? Is there a splashback from the Eternals? Does anybody care
there's a
that
huge one?
It's not that huge, Ben, because I'm on the internet. I'm on the internet all the time. I essentially live on the internet.
You're not on my
internet.
internet.
I'm not on your internet. You're digging down in those cesspools.
You gotta be in the cesspools, Michael. That's where all the crap shit is.
But even like if you go 3 layers deep, you have to go right down to the cesspools to find this bullshit.
I'm at the base of the cesspool.
You're down at the base. You're at the sinkhole.
Yeah, it's
because
no good.
Does anybody care that Makari is a deaf woman and not a brownish man called Mark Curry?
No, probably not.
Does anybody care about that? I don't think they do.
Makari is a chipper over here, Michael. That's interesting.
It is, yeah. It's quite funny. Makari Ben is obviously the... Ben.
Yeah.
Speaking of films, let's talk about The Eternals.
Go on, you've seen it. I haven't.
I've seen it, Ben. I've seen it. It's long. I've enjoyed it. And I think it bears considering that we are a popular culture podcast and we specifically focus mostly on comic book movies and TV shows and comic books.
We do.
And so, therefore, we are very much the audience for this.
Okay.
And for a spoiler-free snippet,
okay,
if this had come out pre-MCU, it probably would have been the best comic book film ever made.
Really?
Yes, probably. However, that doesn't mean it's an absolutely brilliant film.
Okay. Best
if
comic
I had
book
to
film.
say, it probably would have been the best comic book film ever if it had come out pre-Marvel Cinematic Universe. But that is not to say it's not without its flaws. And its biggest flaw is very much the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in a sense.
Okay.
Because this film, in my opinion, and we'll get into much more depth in this in a few minutes, Ben, and we'll do much more spoilers, and it'll be quite spoilerific. But this film would have benefited from shitting or getting off the pot, as it were. And what I mean in that sense, Ben, is it is very much a globe-trotting, thoughtful, character-driven Chloe Zhao film.
Okay.
But it's also trying to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Boo.
And Chloe Zhao, Ben, is undoubtedly a very good director because some of the scenery, Ben, and some of the shots are absolutely spectacular. And all of the characters are very likable and very interesting.
Well,
and some of them are quite underdeveloped, and you would like. But even for the underdeveloped ones, you're left feeling, I'd like to get to know a bit more about that person rather than he was no use.
Yeah, okay.
But, on the other hand, as a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, it is easily the weakest Marvel Cinematic Universe film. Because, and this is my personal feeling, I don't think Chloe Zhao is a very good superhero film director.
But she's not. She's traditionally has no experience in that field.
The stuff that Marvel is known for, like the witty banter, the interaction between the characters, the references within the universe, all of that is weak to the point of, I feel, dragging the film down.
Oh, wow.
The humor in particular is way off the mark. I don't think I laughed once.
Oh.
A lot of the humor is brought on by Kingo, played by Camille Nanjiani. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, Camille Nanjiani.
And he has his manservant with him. Valet is the word he uses, like Batman.
Right.
And I mean, his valet follows them around, and he's your stereotypical, slightly older, overweight Bollywood film producer.
Nice.
And in a different film, he could have been the film's Korg. He could have been, he could have been this great comedy foil of, the person who shouldn't really be there, but has somehow become involved in it.
Yeah, just through happenstance and circumstance. Yeah.
And he does have the closest to funny lines in it.
Okay.
But it's just not funny. It's just not funny. And half of me is wishing they had just not gone for funny.
They just made a serious film.
Yeah, just make a serious film about serious space gods and doing serious space god stuff on Earth and go that way. Or just follow the Marvel template a bit more and make it a funny romp.
You see, you can't get this is interesting because Chloe Zhao doesn't make comedy. She doesn't.
No, clearly.
She doesn't make witty things. She makes think pieces and art, quotation marks. Like, it's all art. Don't get me wrong.
All art is art, Ben.
But she makes Oscar films, and Oscar films have their own set formula. For like Best Picture and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason we call things Oscar bait, is that they share certain tropes that the Academy, wink wink, goes for.
Well, Benjamin, this isn't going to win any Oscars for Best Film, and it's also the weakest Marvel Cinematic Universe film because it hasn't picked a spot.
Because it did not, in fact, shit or get off the pot.
No, it just sat on the pot, surfing the internet on its phone.
A little bit constipated.
Yeah, exactly. About what does it want to be? Where are we going with this? What's our reason for this existing?
Was it browsing the cesspools of the internet while it was on the toilet?
Yes, probably, most likely. I've got a list, Ben. I've got a list of stuff I wanted to talk about. Characters.
Okay, go on.
I talked about the characters. All of the characters, Ben, are good.
Oh, well, that's good.
All of them. Even the one, Ben, that the Americans would call Barry Keoghan.
Keoghan.
Yeah, Keoghan.
From Clan Keoghan.
From Clan Keoghan. He has a very good moment, Ben, where he sneaks up behind someone and hits them in the head with a brick. And I was thinking, he learned that in Dublin.
That's a little bit of Dublin right there.
That's a little bit of Dublin shown through. Now, Ben, we should point out we are recording this from Tala. So it's a pot calling the kettle black type situation.
Everyone can settle down.
Everyone settle down. Settle down. But I kind of would have preferred, in a way, a bit more of them, to be honest, because some of them, Druig, for example, Barry Keoghan's character Druig, Makari, Gilgamesh, they're a little bit underdeveloped, to be honest, and you're left wanting a little bit more of them. Even Salma Hayek's Ajax isn't in it very much.
But she's so central to the trailer.
Yeah, she's very central to the trailer, and she's very central to the plot, Ben, but she's also not in it very much. The main characters for Surezies are Cersei and Icarus.
Because they're in love.
They're your main characters, and they're in love, and they're so boring of being in love. They're not great on the chemistry, Ben. The best romance in it is between Barry Keoghan's Druig and Makari.
Which one is Makari, Michael?
She's the super fast one. The super fast death. Oh,
yeah, okay.
And they have the best romance in it by far. And it looks like two people who are genuinely flirting with each other and maybe have a bit more going on. And it's so much more believable than Gemma Chan and Richard Madden gazing at each other and going, we were together for 5,000 years, and me going, oh, for the love of God, please don't show us. Please don't show us 5,000 years of them being together. Oh, for all that is good and holy.
I bet there was a little montage. Was it a little montage?
It wasn't that little then. It was quite long.
It was 90% of a film.
Yeah. There's some very strong moments in it. There's some incredible visuals in it. Some really, truly spectacular visuals. And I think that's Chloe Zhao's sensibility in a lot of them. There is a scene, Ben, the first scene where we have Ajax, played by Salma Hayek, and she's communicating with Arishim, the Celestial. Mm-hmm. and she kind of enters some sort of trance or mind state, or I don't know, maybe physically teleports. We don't know, but she's standing in a temple, and then the temple kind of fades away, and it's replaced in a very Jack Kirby-esque way with this enormous red panel that she's in front of, and it's this kilometers high monolith. And then as it slowly pans back, we realize that's just the Celestial's faceplate. That's kilometers high. Okay. And then she's floating in space in front of this thing that's half the size of a planet. And it's amazing. There's a scene towards the end, Ben. I'm gonna just try to describe it without spoilers. But there's a scene towards the end where a Celestial is coming to get someone.
Right.
And it's an incredible scene where there's two characters talking on a hill, and it suddenly gets dark, and there's a bit of a thunderstorm brewing in the distance.
Oh, classic. And
then the thunderstorm, Ben, suddenly splits apart, and the entire sky is filled with the head and shoulders of a Celestial.
Oh, that's good.
And it's just an amazing... I've got a chill thinking about it.
You're so excited.
It's an amazing shot. One part of me looked at it and went, oh, they've undermined Galactus here. So if and when they ever do Galactus, he's going to have a lot to live up to try and beat that.
Yeah.
So the stuff about the Celestials, the stuff about the history and the origins and the cosmic doohickeys is actually quite interesting and quite cool. And left me going, oh, this is exciting. I'd like to hear more of this.
And then they showed you Gemma Chan and Richard Madden.
And then Gemma Chan and Richard Madden are looking at each other and holding hands again. Benjamin.
Yeah.
Your favourite character will undoubtedly be Dane Whitman.
Who's that now? Oh, the bloody... I know who that is. Never mind.
He's played by Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. He knows nothing.
And then very much in this, he knows nothing.
Oh.
And it's little more than a cameo, to be honest.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But what you're going to enjoy about him, Ben, is that he's very much a poetry teacher in the museum, the British Museum. So he's in there giving a lecture about poems and shit, and I'm like, oh no.
All I've ever wanted.
This is who Ben's going to the next Comic-Con as.
Yep, bloody Kit Harington.
Kit Harington as Dane Whitman.
So he's playing the Black Knight, isn't he?
Well... hold on. Let me finish reviewing first.
Okay. All right. And
then we'll get into the nerd shit.
Okay. When we get into the nerd shit, that sounds good.
So Ben, the Deviants.
Yes.
Now, what you're thinking, obviously, is when I say the Deviants, is the likes of Chris Evans and whatever he's up to
in the basement.
Him and Armie Hammer, whatever they're getting
consensually,
allegedly. Look, Ben, here's a Deviant. I'm showing you him on screen.
Michael, that's a mad little figure. Pull that out there. Take that out.
There he is. Look, his name's Crow, Ben.
Crow. That's a terrible name for a deviant, but okay.
He's a deviant. The best name for a deviant is Chris Evans, allegedly. Benjamin.
Go on.
The deviants are completely and utterly pointless.
Oh.
The deviants, and we're going to get into mild spoilers here. So
mild spoilers, are we?
Mild spoilers. I'm getting a bit of Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, you druid yourself.
A bit of druid coming out. I would have stopped everyone fighting, and then everything would have been grand. But you has kept stopping me, so fuck off. The deviants.
Is that an actual quote from?
I don't think he says fuck off.
I hope so.
The deviants, Ben, are a complete and utter waste of time. And they only exist to give the superheroes something to punch.
Okay.
Until the inevitable family drama takes center stage.
Okay.
And bit of a waste.
Meh.
Bit pointless. When the family drama finally takes center stage, it's quite good.
Okay.
It's quite good. Again, we'll get into more direct spoilers in the more nerdy section.
Sure.
But it makes the villains, the on paper villains, complete and utter waste of time. Useless.
Oh.
So yeah, mixed feelings about it, Ben. Mixed feelings.
Yes, it would be mixed feelings. I know.
Mixed feelings. That's what this section is called. Now.
I know how reviews work, Michael. You give me your feelings on a film. You don't have to keep reminding me.
I've got mixed feelings. That's what this section is called now.
But anyway, Michael, come here to me.
Yes.
Come here to me. Yeah. Is there any mention of a bloody Thanos? Is Any?
All right. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Deep spoilers now.
Yeah.
So we're going into deep spoilers, Ben. If you don't want to hear it, you can just get out of here because this is the deep spoilers.
Go down to the time code.
Out, Ben. Yeah, the time code's below, so you can nip out now if you want, if you haven't seen it yet. Because we realise it's only for opening weekend. It turns out, Ben, that the Eternals aren't the goodies. It turns out, Ben, that the Eternals are robots. And they were created by the Celestials.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the Eternals are robots. And they're created by the Celestials. And they're placed on planets in order to guide the development of sentient species. Because, Ben, the Celestials have seeded every planet with sentient life with a baby Celestial. And when enough sentient life exists on the planet, that Celestial is born.
Okay.
And in its birth, devours the energy of the planet and destroys it and kills all life on the planet.
Get the fuck out of town.
And the Eternals are there to make sure that's what happens.
So are the Deviants the good guys?
No, the Deviants are a complete and utter waste of time, as I said. They're just there as a threat to punch until this becomes the real point of the movie.
Okay. Right.
So the actual real cut and thrust of the plot is some of the Eternals know this, some of them don't. Some of the struggles that they've been having through their lives, for example, Angelina Jolie's character has a condition called mad weary, where she's gone a bit mad from being alive too long.
Okay, well, that's
fair.
But
it turns out, Ben, all the horrible visions she's seeing and remembering are actually past planets they've done this on.
And she knows.
And she kind of half remembers because her previous memory wipe wasn't successful.
Oh, so they get memory wiped every time.
They get memory wiped and sent to the next planet, and they do it for another 7,000 years. And then they get memory wiped and sent to the next planet.
So they think they're the good guys.
They think they're there to protect humanity, but they're not. They're essentially farmers. They're there to get humanity ready for the harvest.
Wow.
And the big problem they had is that when Thanos snapped away half of all sentient life, that was half of the fuel source gone. So the emergence didn't happen.
Wow.
Exactly, yeah. Chloe Zhao, I think you mean.
Zhao.
So that's why, Ben, they never get involved in any wars. So
get the fuck out of town.
Most of the plot of this is a massive contrivance, and not necessarily a bad one. I thought an interesting one, a good one, to justify why we've never seen them before. Because they want war. They want people to develop technology and increase lifespans and move along. And that's the driving plot. And then that's why they all end up having a big fight at the end.
Wow.
Exactly.
Michael did not see that coming.
No, neither did I. It was quite interesting. And because of that, some amazing visuals. Some very cosmic visuals that really, in my opinion, has taken the wind out from under a Galactus if they ever do one.
Wow.
Because it's quite Galactus-y, that motivation.
Yeah. Michael, that's stunned me to silence.
Yeah, you should have watched the film, maybe.
I should have watched the film. Yeah, that's too bad.
That's what a shame. Ben!
This is one of the few times where I've actually given a crap that you've spoiled something.
Yeah. Well, the joke's on you now, because that's not true. I've made all of that up. It's just about kicking and punching. Listeners, you can't see, but there's a look of utter confusion on Ben's face.
I'm very confused.
I haven't made that up, Ben.
No, I figured not. I figured not. That would have been like some top tier bloody making stuff up.
The denouement, Ben.
Yeah.
The denouement is very much an inter-family conflict about what to do.
Wow.
So do they try and stop this birth from happening? Do they let it happen and get mind wiped and go to the next planet? Do they try and kill the Celestial that's in Earth? Or do they try and put it to sleep for another couple of thousand years to move everyone off the planet? What are they going to do? Wow. And that's the real final showdown. And Ben,
yeah,
the real final showdown is very much a Justice League fight.
Oh, okay. So it's a little scrappy-doo.
Yeah, because if you have Icarus, Ben, he's Superman.
Yeah.
He's flying about. He's doing eye lasers. He's got punches. You've got Thena. She's Wonder Woman.
Okay.
She's got swords and shields and doing a chop and a kick.
Okay.
You've got Phastos.
Okay.
Or Hephaestus, Ben, from the Greek myths.
Oh, look at that.
And yeah. Well, Makari is Mercury, Ben.
Oh, I mean, it makes sense. Athena is Athena. Yeah, okay.
Athena is Athena. And he's Cyborg, essentially. So you've got your Justice League showdown, but only it's better than Justice League. They do the best Flash versus Superman on-screen fight we've ever seen.
Okay.
Very good. Very enjoyable. Very interesting.
Very good, Michael. Very good. Didn't see that coming, Michael. I won't lie to you.
Yeah. Neither did the Eternals, Ben. They were very upset.
I'd say they were. That's quite a revelation. Are we robots, Michael?
No, we're grand.
Are you sure?
No. How would you tell? Gemma
tell?
Chan must be constantly worried that she's robots.
Because she's played them in so many things, Michael.
She's always robots. Gemma Chan is always robots.
Gemma Chan is always robots.
That's what this episode is called. No, we can't call it that. It's too spoilery.
Yeah, it actually is, so we can't. That is...
Yeah, so it's good. It's from a cosmic Marvel perspective, it's very interesting and very exciting. Ben, do we want to get into post-credits spoilers?
Will we leave people to have their post-credit spoilers? I don't know.
The post-credit scenes have been spoiled. I saw the post-credit scenes before I saw the film.
So come here to me, Michael. I've had them spoiled as well. So this comes back to my original question. So Thanos is not an Eternal or a Titan of some kind.
So they meet Thanos' brother, Ben.
Yes, they do. Yeah,
Star Fox.
Who
Star Fox.
Probably is actually a deviant who doesn't worry about consent too much.
Exactly, yeah. He's a very problematic character. He's played by Harry Styles, Ben. Harold Styles.
I mean, better casting you could not hope to find.
Spectacular casting, Ben.
Yeah.
And he introduces himself as the brother of Thanos, Prince of Titan, and a fellow Eternal.
Yeah.
So I guess that means Thanos is an Eternal. But Thanos is also not a robot. Because Thanos has parents.
Yeah. He's also very...
I don't know. I don't know, Ben. It certainly answers more questions than it has... Sorry, it asks more questions than it has answers for.
So I wonder, Michael.
Go on. Yeah.
I wonder...
What is it that you wonder?
The Celestials borrow the Eternal story to implant their robots, and there is actually another race of Eternals out there who aren't robots, but are having their name besmirched by this bunch of Celestials who are farming planets.
Jesus, I hope not, Ben.
That's very convoluted, isn't it?
That's too convoluted. I don't want it. The film ends, Ben, with some of the Eternals going off into space to find other Eternals and tell them what's going on.
Lads, this is fucking mental. Sit down there and I tell you.
This is mental. Wait and you hear, lads. Wait and you hear what's really happening.
That's mad.
Yeah. No, it's quite good. I mean, like from a cosmic Marvel mythology setting kind of thing, it's quite good. Dreadful retconning, obviously, and trying to tie it in with Thanos doesn't make any sense, and that's going to cause more problems than it's worth for sure.
Yeah.
But look, I quite enjoyed it. I will see it again. As I said before, Ben, I'm not the best person. I'm not very neutral in this, because I had already invested in these dumbass action figures before I even saw it, and I was always going to like it.
Okay, so that's a very important question. Do you have buyer's remorse in seeing Eternals?
I have buyer's remorse about this guy, about this goddamn.
Did you have to pay extra for him?
He was extra because he's all big and glibbly lobbly.
That's shite.
I have buyer's remorse about him because he's barely in it and he's completely pointless.
Boom.
He is voiced by your favourite actor and mine, Bill Skarsgård.
I hate Bill Skarsgård. He unnerves me at a primal level.
Because he's so deviant.
No, I just feel like... How do I...
So in a way, great bit of casting.
I feel that Bill Skarsgård is just a bringer of darkness. Like I think he's just he eats children. Like it's a weird... I don't know. Bill Skarsgård unnerves me at a primal level, Michael.
Yeah, he's the baddie in this, Ben.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Look, Ben.
Yes.
I have to say.
Go on.
It's not a marvelous film. It's not amazing.
Not a marvelous Marvel film.
One of the biggest issues with it, I could say, was that there are as many references to the DC cinematic universe as the Marvel cinematic universe.
What?
Yeah. They talk about Odin and Thor and Captain America.
Okay.
But they also reference Batman and Superman.
What?
Yeah, I'm getting feedback from... So that's weird, like whether how it fits in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC Cinematic Universe. But Benjamin, we have to talk about the final post-credit scene, because this is the biggest spoiler, but also completely irrelevant, because you'll never notice it when you watch the film.
Okay. Sounds
so
good.
in the final scene, Ben,
yeah,
your favourite character, Dane Whitman...
Yes.
He gets the ebony blade.
The cursed ebony blade, eh?
The cursed ebony blade, and he's like, maybe I am the Black Knight. Maybe I am going to go and stick this blade into a celestial or whatever. And he's about to pick up the ebony blade, and the ebony blade is like, are you sure you want to pick me up? I'm a real son of a bitch. It doesn't specifically say that, but you know what I mean. It's a classic haunted sword
I'm
situation.
a burden, not a gift.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as he's about to pick it up, someone off screen says, Mr. Whitman, are you sure you're ready for that?
Oh.
And then it cuts to black.
And it's Captain America.
There's been a lot of speculation about who it was. Okay. And Chloe Zhao herself has revealed who it was. Perhaps accidentally or because she doesn't quite get this whole thing. She's just flat out said it. Would you like to hear who it was, Ben?
Who is it, Michael?
It's the voice of Marshala Ali.
Is it?
AKA Blade.
What?
So Blade is going to do a team up with the Black Knight.
What?
Yeah, exciting.
Oh, look, I'm going to watch that, Michael. I like Marshall Ali.
I like Marshala Ali. I like Blade. I'm going to watch it anyway, Ben. I'm going to watch Dr. Morbius. So, I'm going to watch all of these goddamn things.
We're going to watch all of these goddamn things, Michael, till the end of the line. Till the end of the line. Oh, man, that's... Michael, I'm still reading from the Eternals are robots. I'm not.
Yeah. They're robots, man.
The fuck?
They're very advanced space robots.
Yeah, apparently.
I tell you what, Ben. Nothing like the recent Eternals comic from Neil Gaiman that we thought this would be some way influenced by.
But is in fact no way influenced by it at all.
Not at all in the slightest, really. It has some of the same characters, I guess.
That's madness, Michael.
Yeah, very interesting.
Very. I'll go see it this week, Michael. I'll go see it this week.
Okay.
All right. I'll go see it this week, and I'll do a 2-week late review next weekend.
Benjamin, why don't you very quickly tell us who is Dane Whitman, your new favourite character?
Dane Whitman is... we actually going to do this in 57 minutes.
Do it in 10 seconds. You've got 10 seconds to tell the listeners who Dane Whitman is.
Dane Whitman is a character known as the Black Knight in the Marvel comic book universe. And in the Marvel comic book universe, there have been 2 Black Knights. The first Black Knight is Dane Whitman's uncle. And he carried... Oh, there are 3 Black Knights in the Marvel universe, sorry. The first iteration of it was Dane Whitman's uncle. No? I've got this wrong. Explain it then.
The first iteration, Ben, was a knight in King Arthur's court.
Oh.
Called Sir Percy Whitman, I think.
Sir Percival, yes.
And I think it's Percy, but he was the original owner of the Ebony Blade.
The Ebony Blade.
From when Marvel Comics were doing, things other than superhero stories. So this was from a Marvel Comics King Arthur story.
Right.
And it was Merlin himself who forged the Ebony Blade out of a meteorite.
Get out of town.
Yeah. And then the blade, Ben, the knight, he was a goodie. The Black Knight, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
But he was the classic, he seems so meek and normal, and then he puts on his black armor, and who is this mysterious figure?
Yeah, it's a classic superhero gig.
Classic superhero deal, but it was in King Arthur's court.
Yeah, nice.
And unfortunately, Ben, he was so good at killing people and so good at doing a stabbing.
Yes.
That over the centuries, the Ebony Blade, he killed so many people and spilled so much blood, it became cursed.
Oh, Christ.
Exactly.
Oh.
And then what you're about to say happened.
Yes, so anyway, the blade is a corrupting force then, Michael, and Dale Whitman's uncle picks it up, and he becomes a villain. He kind of faces off against multiple superhero teams throughout his Marvel career, and he's a bit of a baddie, Michael, and the blade's a bit of a dodgy thing because it can cut loads of stuff and do loads of damage. And
oh yeah, it's cutting anything.
It's cutting anything. It's one of those classic, but this blade can cut through anything, including apparently a celestial.
Yeah.
in that particular universe. But then, Michael, obviously, villains never prosper, as we say. And the sword...
Except Elon Musk.
Got him.
Got him.
We're
And Chris Evans.
definitely going to get a knock at the door at some point. He's a very petty man, Michael. He will actually send someone after us.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's not good. That could be the end of us, Michael. That could be the end of us.
Get out of here, Elon.
Of all the things we've ever done, that's the riskiest. So anyway, sorry. His nephew then takes up the mantle, and initially, poor old Dale tries to be a villain. He's like, "Oh, I'm not very good at this."
Dane.
My heart. Sorry, Dane. I keep saying Dale, don't I?
You're thinking of Dale Earnhardt, the NASCAR driver.
That's who I'm thinking of. With the ebony car. Yeah. So what happens is, Michael, he becomes the Black Knight, and he takes on the mantle. And initially, he tries to be a villain. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow in the family legacy," but his heart's not in it, Michael.
Probably a goodie then.
He's a bit of a goodie, and so he goes on to become the Black Knight, and he's a bit of a defender of the people, Michael.
He's one of, they're forever bringing obscure characters to the forefront here, but he's pretty damn obscure.
He is
the Black Knight.
He's niche to fuck.
He's as niche as it gets. I mean, Jack of Hearts is the only Avenger I can think of who's more niche.
Star Fox is pretty niche as well, in fairness.
Star Fox is pretty... I would say Black Knight is a lot more niche than Star Fox. I mean, if you go on Black Knight's Wikipedia page, it's probably a fifth of Star Fox's even.
Yeah.
Because he's not got a lot going on. The most notable thing that he did in the comics is fall in love with Cersei.
That's true. Yeah.
And he's flapping about on a winged horse.
On a winged horse called Aragorn.
Aragorn, yeah.
Aragorn
the winged horse, and flapping around with his magic sword. And that's what he does. He just flaps around with a magic sword chopping people. He's got no inherent superpowers. He's just got a magic sword.
No,
and
he's just got a magic sword and a suit of armor.
And a Pegasus.
Kit Harington playing yet another stoic man in a lot of black.
He doesn't play this very stoic. He's a bit panicky. And it's a little bit against type for Kit Harington, which I enjoyed.
Good. Well, good for him. He deserves that. Let's not get pigeonholed into the Jon Snow role.
Not against type for Gemma Chan, obviously, as a sexy robot.
Yeah, well, we can't have that, can we?
No, that's her thing now.
Michael, come here to me.
Yes, go on.
I'm going to put this over to the listeners. What did you think of the latest Marvel movie, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think of Kit Harington as Dane Whitman? What did you think? Dane Bowers. Jack Bowers of 24. So, what did you think of all of the new Marvels things? Do you think that everybody's robots? Let us know. There's a couple of ways that you can get in touch.
I don't think it is. It's just the Eternals.
You can find us on the interwebs at www.seanmcpugh.com. Yes.
I forgot the whole thing. Kingo, he's got the finger powers. He's just shooting people from it. I wanted to call him Finger Blast every time we said his name, but I forgot.
Oh, thank God for that. Thank God for that. You were spared this week, ladies and gentlemen, through fate or happenstance from just a foul joke running the show. You got it in there at the end. That's what we're going to call the episode, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to call him Finger Blast. That will be the name of the episode.
I hope not.
You can get in touch with us in a number of different ways. You can find us on the interwebs at www.seanmcpugh.com, SEOMRABEAG.com.
It means tiny room in Irish.
It does indeed. You can find us on bloody Instagram at Sure Look Sure Listen Podcast.
It means Sure Look Sure Listen in English.
It does indeed. But ladies and gentlemen, come here to me.
Yes.
I'll let you in a little secret.
Go on.
The best way to get in touch with either Michael or myself is to get up on that Discord, baby.
Hop up on it.
Get on it and let us know what you thought of the film, and we'll give you a little witty banter and response.
Oh, I can't guarantee that.
I can't either, but I'm going to make promises I can't keep, Michael. Not unlike Chloe Zhao's The Eternals. Oh, swish! And that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, got her. You took her down a peg, Ben. Oscar-winning director Chloe Zhao.
Zing.